Good morning, everyone. So we are back again after the long holidays. Before the holidays, we studied about the inheritance and the complexity. Unfortunately, this complexity and the interface portions are removed from the revised syllabus. So we need not give much importance to that. Anyway, you learned it. That's good for your future. Today I am going to start the portions related to the Boolean algebra. See, when we are going to the Boolean algebra, first of all we have to know that Boolean algebra is totally based upon the logic. The logic means the way we think, the way we work. We can say simply like that. For doing anything, we have a logic behind it. So, we are going through the terms related to the Boolean algebra. Logic in Boolean algebra is depending on the prepositions and the connectives. First of all, we should know what is preposition. A preposition is an elementary atomic statement. Atomic means a statement which cannot be divided. That is, it is a single statement, we cannot divide it into different groups. So, a preposition is an elementary atomic statement which will produce an output either true or false, and it may not take any other output. So we can have certain examples. Like we say, India won 2011 World Cup. So we have a certain answer for that. We may say that it is true. The statement what I wrote is true. So here the statement is indivisible. When we divide it into different pieces or different units, that statement may not be having a full meaning. That's why we say that it is an atomic statement. Suppose if I say, how are you? Do you have a certain answer for this to say that true or false? No. So this is not a preposition. We say India won the first 2020 World Cup. See, that is also having a certain answer to say either true or false. So we say the statements which can answer either true or false are said to be prepositions. Suppose we say, what did you eat? Do you have a certain answer from this to say as true or false? No. Since we do not have any certain answer for this, we won't say that as a preposition. Alright? Now we see certain terms related to the preposition as well as the logic. We say simple preposition and a compound preposition. A preposition which is simple in nature, which is having only one preposition, only one statement, that is known as simple preposition. For example, we say, it is raining. See, this particular statement has got only one statement. So we say that it is a simple preposition. Wind is blowing. This is a single statement. So we call it as simple preposition. Now the compound preposition. A compound preposition is a combination of more than one simple prepositions. And those simple prepositions are made to compound preposition by using connectives. I told you in the previous one, the logic is followed by using the preposition as well as the connectives. So, in order to make a compound preposition, we are using simple prepositions as well as certain connectives or the operators. So, we make this same simple ones into the compound ones by writing it as it is raining and wind is blowing. See, we used and here to combine both the simple preposition and to form a compound preposition. Again, we have more connectives. We can write it as it is raining or wind is blowing. See, again we used one more connective. Or, like that we have a few connectives or operators which are used to make a simple preposition into the compound prepositions. Now, next we will go to see all those connectives or the operators which are used to make symbol into compound words. As I said, we have operators or the connectives. Here I am listing those operators. The plus, this is a symbol which can be used for showing the plus. Both are showing the OR operation. Then a dot and a caret symbol. These two are representing AND operation. Implication, that is the conditional one. Bidirectional one, biconditional one, and the tilde. This is a negation one. These are the operators we are going to use. Among these all, the last one is not a connective. These are all connecting the sentences. But the last symbol is not a connective. It is a unary one, which works with only one statement. And what happens with that statement? That statement gets negated. For example, if we write, it is raining. It is raining. And we put this tilde symbol there, then we have to read it as, it is not raining. The sentence is, the statement is negated. But the other operators, other 6 operators are given here. These all operators are the connectives. They are called as the sentential connectives. Why we call them as the sentential connectives? The prepositions are also known as sentences, statements, prepositions. So what are sentences? Statements are the prepositions. They are the atomic statements which can produce a true answer or a false answer. So these are all combining two simple ones to make as a compound one. Let us see one example. It is raining and we put a plus symbol and then wind is blowing, the second statement. We read it together as it is raining or wind is blowing. And if you use the and there, we say it is raining and wind is blowing. When the dot is given there, we have to combine the statement as, the sentences as, it is raining and wind is blowing. Again we can add, and I am not driving. I am not driving. So we can see more sentences, statements, prepositions are combined together by using these connectives or the operators. So those simple ones became compound one. I think it is clear. Now we will individually see the disjunction, conjunction, etc. See, here we have the first connective, the or. We call it as disjunctive. This or operator is used to combine two or more statements. And what is happening with the or, that's what we are going to see. See, the or is represented by using a plus, a V-like symbol, or simply by using the or. One of the argument is true or both of the arguments are true. This is the principle behind the or operator, the disjunctive. Means when we say or operator, either of the statements will be true or all of the statements are true. I have written two examples here. In these two examples, both can be true or only one can be true. See, it is raining or wind is blowing. See, when normally it rains, it is not necessary that always the wind is accompanied with the rain. Maybe only rain is there or otherwise the wind is blowing. Sometimes both can happen. I think you are getting. See, when the or is used, either of the statement can be true or all of the statements can be true. In the first example, it is raining. Okay, right now it is raining, you assume. That time it is not necessary that the wind is blowing. In certain cases you can see when we have heavy rains, wind also will be there as well as rain also will be there. So the disjunctive says either of the statements are true or all of the statements are true. Second example is, we are very familiar with that. Modi ji is the PM of India. You may say true. Or Yogi ji is the CM of UP. That is also true. That means when we use this or, either the first statement can be true, second statement can be true, or both can be true. In the second example, both the statements are true. So this is what is the nature of the disjunctive, the or. Alright? Now we are going through conjunctive. The conjunctive says about the and operation. The and operation can be represented by using a symbol like this. This is also known as character symbol, dot, and. Okay, now we are giving certain constants for these sentences. These premises are, or the prepositions are represented by certain constants. They are normally written by small letters. P stands for the statement it is raining. Q stands for the wind is blowing. P stands for Modi ji is the PM of India. Q stands for Yogi ji is the CM of UP. And R stands for Father Grigori is our principal. Now we can say P plus Q. What does it mean? The previous one. It is raining or wind is blowing. That is distinctive one. When we put the dot here, it is becoming as conjunctive. We read it as it is raining and the wind is blowing. Alright, in the next one, P, Q and R. We write it as P into Q into R. That means all the three are true. In the previous one, we had either of them should be true or all of them are true. Now here we have all the conditions are to be true. The AND operator says all of them are true. That means the output will be true when all the conditions given or all the prepositions given, all the statements given in that particular particular compound statements are true. We can read this as Modi is the PM of India and Yogi is the CM and Father Giri is our principal. I think it is clear. So we are putting the dot symbol, or we can write it as P and Q and R, showing that all these three statements are true. Okay? Next is conditional if then or implication. Here we have the operators, arrow of the symbol. This says that if P is true, then Q should be true. We can write it as if P then Q, if P then Q. These are the three ways of writing the implication. That means when the first preposition is true, the second one should be true to get the output true. And rest nothing is bothered. Only it is checking when the first preposition is true, the second one should be true. We say if it is raining, then wind is blowing. We say that if there is rain, the wind should be blowing. We have different possibilities. If we consider it in a truth table, P is there, Q is there, P and Q are 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. That means it is not raining, wind is not blowing. We are getting from the statement. 0 shows that it is not happening and 1 shows that it is happening. It is not raining or wind is not blowing. See, we are not bothered about it. We have only one possibility. What is that? If it is raining, here you see, if it is raining, wind is not blowing, we will have output 0. It is raining, wind is blowing, then we will have an output 1. And rest all the other cases. It is not raining, wind is blowing, no problem. It is not raining, wind is not blowing, output is true. We have only one stress, only one condition. We say that if the P is true, the first preposition is true, second preposition should be true. That is what is the implication says. Okay? Next is biconditional or equivalence. See, we have two prepositions. P stands for it is raining. Q stands for wind is blowing. Two operators are given there to show the equivalence. Both should be true or both should be false. That means all the conditions are to be true or all the conditions are to be false. So we can say it with the help of a truth table. P, Q and if and only if P then Q. We read this as if and only if P then Q. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. See, in the first and the last cases, what is happening? It is not raining, then wind is not blowing. 0 shows not raining. and 0 shows in the Q, wind is not blowing. That is, both are equivalent in that case. So that the output will be 2. And the other one you see, if it is raining, then wind is blowing. We can read it as if and only if it is raining, then wind is blowing. That means both the statements are to be equal. Both are true, it should be equal, we say. In this case, both are equal. Last case also both are equal. So the output is 1, most of the cases outputs are 0. So this is the biconditional one or the equivalence principle. Okay. Next one we have the negation one. Okay. So what is that negation one? Negation one, or we call it as a not. We can take only one statement because I told you it is a unary one. We take it as it is raining. When we take P as a constant for this, it is raining, we can say that P bar or not P, P dash, etc. to show that it is a not, it is a negated one. So the statement will become as it is raining will become as it is not raining. The statement is negated. This is the only one operator which is not a connective. This is only used for negating a particular statement. I think it is clear. Now I am going to write few statements and we should be able to read it. Suppose we say P dot Q, P VQ, that means the V kind of shape, P plus Q, P implication Q, if and only if P then Q. We should be able to say that what is meant by them. Here we say P and Q, that means P and Q are true, both are true. Second one we say either P or Q or both of them are true. Next also same thing, either P or Q or both of them are true. If P is true, Q should be true. If and only if P is true, Q is true. So this is the way of reading these statements. I think it is very clear. Kindly go through the textbook. This is enough for today. Thank you.